What's up guys, welcome on into a video that I'm extremely excited to film because I'm just going to be going off these poll questions and giving my answer. I don't have stuff written down planned, it's just my real response to these MLB poll questions. So let's start off the poll. If you are new, subscribe to the channel and comment below your thoughts on every video. It's much appreciated because I'm so thrilled to be bringing you guys a lot of baseball content down the stretch run. So we have a lot of player comparisons in here, so I'm just going to tell you guys for the player comparisons, it's based on overall. I'm not going to judge it just off the season because that's kind of boring. So for these polls, it's based on overall how good they are, not just based on 2021. So let's start it off with orange juice or apple juice. Doesn't matter the year. I'm going with apple juice and it's not close. Actually, that's not true. Back in the day for me, it was orange juice, but that stuff is trash. I don't know what I was thinking. Next up, Brandon Nimmo versus Trent Grisham. And this one for me is pretty easy. Brandon Nimmo. Trent Grisham, his best year was 2020, which he was slightly above average. Well, he was pretty solid. He had an OPS just over 800. This year it's like, I think, high 700s. He's been like slightly above average this year. Yeah, but Nimmo's had some tremendous seasons. I haven't checked on his this year stats in a bit, if I'm being honest, but I know 2018 was really good. Yeah, and then he's been solid. I think 2020 he was good as well. Alright, here we go. This is a fun one. Trey Turner, Corey Seeger. And you gotta give it to Trey Turner, despite Corey Seeger being the second best player in the playoffs last year behind Arozarena. 2020 was Seeger's year all around. This year, though, Trey Turner, I feel like hitting-wise, overall, he's pretty much the same, if not a little bit better, and he does more things on the baseball field. Fielding-wise at shortstop, Turner's the better fielder. They need to be putting Seeger over at second. They need to start doing that. And Trey Turner's got that incredible speed. So I'm going with Trey Turner. Barry Bonds, is he a Hall of Famer? And the answer is undoubtedly yes. Now, should his numbers get an asterisk? Yes. And should we praise his numbers? No. But is he a Hall of Famer? Obviously. I mean, he's the best hitter in MLB history based on the stats that he put up. So he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Who won the Corey Kluber trade? The Texas Rangers or the Cleveland Indians? The Indians got Emmanuel Claus or whatever, and Lino de Shields. And it's obviously got to be the Indians who won it, right? Because Kluber didn't do anything for the Rangers. Salvador Perez or Yasmani Grandal. It's so hard. It's offense against defense. I know all the analytical people, it's almost become a meme that they bash on Perez, and I hate it because I'm out here appreciating that he is still putting up greatness. In fact, more greatness than ever before here in 2021. So many home runs. And for 2021 purposes, well, Grandal's been hurt, so it's hard to say, but when on the field, it's been Perez. Overall, I feel like Perez can't quite keep up this offense, so post-2021, I'm going Grandal. But you need to stop the Salvador Perez hate, man. These people saying he's not a top 10 catcher. Come on. Tyler O'Neill of the Cardinals versus Tommy Pham of the Padres. And this is definitely Tyler O'Neill for me. I know this is his first good year, but he's been actually better than Goldschmidt, better than Arenado. He's been the best hitter on the Cardinals by a bit of a margin, whereas Pham has been overall below average since he's become a Padre last year. So you got to give it to Tyler O'Neill. I think he's going to be a solid player over the next lot of years. Do the Padres make the playoffs? Well, they're 2 games back of the Reds as this is being filmed here before the night games have happened on Friday. Well, during them, actually. It's like, what, 9:05? Jeez. But, yeah, it's because the Yankees are out west in Oakland. I'm filming this before that. Didn't realize this was a bit of a late night film, I should say. Do the Padres make the playoffs? No, they do not. The Padres have the hardest schedule in baseball. The Reds have one of the easiest schedules in baseball, and the Reds are currently headed in the standings. If you're talking about 2022, the Padres are a top 5 team in baseball, but as far as the 2021 playoffs are concerned, I do not see the San Diego Padres taking part. Molina or Posey? Obviously Posey. I mean, is he going to keep this up? No, but even before Molina went a bit downhill here and Posey resurged, it was still Posey by a bit offensively over the last 4 years or so before this one. My voice is lagging out, but it's definitely Buster Posey by a mile this year, and overall it's Posey clearly. Jose Ramirez versus Raphael Devers. Now this is a tremendous question. When I was voting on these polls on Instagram earlier, this is the one that I had to sit on the longest, and I went with J-Ram. I'm just going to say you could probably go either way here, but I went with J-Ram. Trey Turner or Nick Castianos. Now this year, if you're talking offense this year, it's been Nick Castianos, but again, we're talking overall, and I would say Trey Turner, offense hitting-wise, they're very, very close, but Trey Turner does so much on the baseball field. So just feel the ball in his glove and steal a lot of bases to turn singles into doubles. Now this, Soto or Harper. Harper is so good. Like, Harper has resurged, but I would still give it to Juan Soto because I feel like Harper has established himself as a true 900 OPS guy, whereas Juan Soto, in my opinion, he has established himself as a 950 OPS player, and his defense is much better this year than his first few years. So Soto it is. Next up, we got Kenley Jansen, Aroldis Chapman, two closers that are all-time great closers, but also are up in their low to mid-30s now, and it's getting to a point where, like, well, it has been this way for a few years, that these fan bases, or just baseball fans in general, just have this negative outlook of the guy because they choke games away for their teams a lot, yet they're so good and so legendary. I would give it to Aroldis Chapman slightly because at this point in their careers, Aroldis Chapman has a higher ceiling, as we saw in the first almost 2 months of the year where he didn't give up a single run. Mariners or A's, that is definitely the Oakland A's. These teams are actually, like, both on the outside looking in, and both probably not going to make it, but it's weird that we're even having this conversation, that they're so close in the standings. 70 and 58 is the Oakland A's. I think that's about what they truly are. They've lost 5 straight games. The Mariners are like 10 above 500, but I've given my opinion on this before. They're not a good team and never were a good team. Are they going to finish above 500? Yes, but are they an above average baseball team? No. F War or B War. So if you guys don't know what that means, it's Fangraph's version of WAR or Baseball Reference version of WAR, since they're not completely the same. And I would say Fangraphs, I just trust the side of Fangraphs more. Baseball Reference, I mean, I'm not going to bash on it. It could just be a little crazy every once in a while. Brian Reynolds, Christian Yelich. Now this is an elite level question because you had Christian Yelich, who was looking like he was going to become a Hall of Famer after 2018 and 19, what he did, easily top 5 player in baseball as we ranked players going into 2020, but he's been average since then. Brian Reynolds has been really good, but I'm still going to give it to Christian Yelich moving forward here. Christian Yelich, I believe he's been turning up the heat lately. Alright, between two giant starters here, the Webb dude or Gausman, and definitely Gausman. I mean, we saw Gausman as better going into the year. Gausman has been better in the year, so I just don't see the case for Webb, but I hope he could be good for years. PNC Park or Petco Park? That's definitely a PNC Park in Pittsburgh, PA. Really good stadium. I haven't gotten to go there. Obviously, I haven't gotten out to San Diego. They're both a top 10 stadiums, though. PNC, I typically do rank it number 2 behind, obviously, the Giants Park. Mariners in the playoffs. Mets black uniforms or Cardinals baby blue uniforms? Definitely the Mets, because we do not get to see black with orange and blue anywhere else in baseball. Black with orange and blue, with of course some white, very, very cool, and I hope they continue to just do it for Friday night home games, because if it's that rare where it's only about twice a month, it's gonna feel really special continuously. Red Sox or Yankees? I mean, the Yankees, of course. Tatis or Harper? Good question, my friend, but Fernando. Soto or Cuny? This is a top 2 question in baseball. And the answer to it is, I'm going to say Acuna, because until Soto fully proves that he's the better hitter than Acuna, Acuna does those other things on a baseball field, mainly stealing bases. So I would give it to Acuna very narrowly. I hope we don't start underrating Acuna, please. Acuna is so good, a bona fide top 6 player in baseball. And here's the other thing that some baseball fans are like it's become way too much like this. When I say top 6, I do not mean he's number 6, not at all. I'm just saying that that's what he's very, very safely in. I hate when MLB nerds on Instagram, or not him, I'm not gonna pick on Jack, but anybody is this pitcher is a top blank, a top blank pitcher. You could just say he is what pitcher? Where would you rank this pitcher? All right, soccer or golf? Definitely golf. I feel the pro to soccers, they're getting in a big workout while playing a sport, but yeah, that's very, very cool for sure, but is liking the sport and having to work out in it is a big thing for not liking it. And golf is enjoyable. Shoot, do I have to go with soccer? Screw it, I'm gonna go with soccer because I am a cardio sport type guy. Baseball, basketball, football. I'm an explosive type of athlete. I do cross country. I want to let all out. I want to be able to let all out. And in golf, you're trying to swing that thing very slowly. My friends have told me some good things about golf for sure, but I don't know. Like I said, I want to be sweating when I win something. That'll make me feel the best. Lynn versus Cole. Let's be real. Garrett Cole is Garrett Cole. He is still the best pitcher in the American League. He hasn't done anything wrong to lose that great honor, and Lynn hasn't quite done enough to just overtake him, and Lynn is 34, so yeah, Garrett Cole. Room temperature or ice cold water? I would say you would obviously give it to the ice cold water. Tim Anderson or Javier Baez? Baez was easily my favorite player in all of baseball from 2016 through 19, basically. But it's obviously Tim Anderson, let's just be real. Judge or Betts? Oh, what a question. What a question. So close. Judge has better leadership, so I'll give it to Judge. Mets making the playoffs, so we could rule out Mets in wild card contention, okay? If they're going to win, it's through the NL East. Should I say that for sure? Yes. Yes, I should, because not only will the Mets have to do great to make the playoffs, but they're going to need another team to collapse. There's too many teams in front of them in the NL wild card race that they're not all going to collapse. And they're just going to need the Atlanta Braves to collapse if they want any hope. But come on. We're starting to talk about the point where you're not a contending team if you're 7.5 games back as it currently stands on August 27th. Carlos Correa versus Xander Bogarts. Give me Xander. Come on, Xander. Correa deals with injuries. Correa is Correa. Xander's honestly so good and underappreciated, honestly. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Juan Soto? Another elite level question. This year so far it's been Vladdy. Overall, here's the thing. I'm going to give it to Soto because, like I said earlier, I believe he has bona fide himself to be an established 950 OPS guy. And we just haven't seen enough from Guerrero Jr., where even if he really continues to be great, it's hard to bona fide yourself as any more than a 950 OPS guy. Another really elite level question here, Tatis versus Acuna Jr. And I will give it to Ronald Acuna Jr. because I see them as very, very equal hitters. Um, eh, Ronald just tore his ACL. Give me Fernando. Very, very, very close. I just like what Fernando brings to the table a little bit more. I know Ronald has the defensive edge. Chapman versus Machado, defense only. Yeah, give me Matt Chapman. Overall, though, Matt Chapman is not even really that good of a player. He's a little above average. I can't believe there was ever talk that he was like a 13th best player in baseball going into 2021, not going into 2020. Before 2020, I made a Twitter comment that said Matt Chapman is if Matt Chapman is overrated. I think I got ratioed before ratios were even a thing, but it's worked out very well. Jays playoffs, well, I thought it was going to happen a few weeks ago, but they have glitched out at the wrong time. So, no, it's going to be very, very tough. They're sitting at about a 15% chance. Ohtani top 5. Duh!